Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from ignorance to the knowledge, and from mortality to the immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, we were discussing Aparokshanubhuti, the introductory text on Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy. The truth is very simple, very sublime. At the same time, we are so much confused. We are so much ignorant many times. Because of our ignorance, how much ever we hear the truth, the absolute truth, we don't understand. We don't feel. So, the sages, the philosophers, they try to tell this simple truth again and again with different types of explanations, with the help of different types of examples and analogies. Similarly, in this Aparokshanubhuti, that is the introductory text into this non-dualistic philosophy, the author is trying to tell, look, there is only consciousness and nothing else exists. How much ever we listen to this great, grander truth, we feel logically maybe okay, but practically, if you see in our day-to-day affair, generally it is not seen, or it has not been felt like this. Practically or a pragmatic truth, whatever we experience or we have to handle, the Advaita Vedanta doesn't deny it, but it only denies the unreality or the ignorance that we have to understand. Now, even if you see the empirical science, what it is all after all trying for? What is science? There are so many definitions, of course. The one definition is the science searches for truth. What is the truth? There may be one substance, or there may be one particle by which the whole world has come out from that. Even Big Bang theory, all these theories are there trying to tell, atomic theory, Big Bang theory, everything. Now, the same thing has been told by Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy, that yes, the truth is consciousness, that is known as Atman or Brahman, from which everything has come out, or that is the substratum for everything, every movable or immovable thing. Now, probably in the previous classes, I did tell that. The science is trying to tell from matter, even the life or consciousness has come, but the spiritual science, Advaita Vedanta is saying, from consciousness, the life and the matter both have emerged. So this is the fundamental truth they start with. Afterwards, when they progress, or when we progress in our thinking, right, in our right thinking, the philosophers say, look, consciousness and consciousness alone exist, all other are illusory. When we say, or when you hear such type of statements, you will feel that, how is it, Swamiji? For example, I am seeing you in Zoom. That means, is it illusion? Are you illusionary personality? Or I'm using gadgets? I'm using so many things from dawn to dusk. How can you say that it is all illusory? It is all delusion. Further, the example can be dream analysis. In the dream, you went to the Switzerland. You enjoyed the beauty of the Switzerland. You dined in a good hotel. You stayed in one of the best accommodation provided by a hotel. You enjoyed and you came back. And suddenly your dream broke, and you see the night where you slept on your bed in your respective place or in your country, you are the same. But in your dream, the mind alone took the form of Switzerland. The mind alone took the form of the food. The mind alone took the form of restaurant. The mind alone took the form of hotel. The mind alone took the form of different people, your friends, relatives, etc., etc. Based on memory, of course, or perception, or knowledge, or image. All your experiences were real. In the dream, at any time, did you feel that it was a dream, it is not real, or it is unreal? We never felt it. From the dream, when you came to the waking state, so-called waking state, then only you came to know that it was a dream and it doesn't have its any individual existence or real existence. So similarly, even this waking state is also a big dream according to the philosophers or according to the non-dualistic philosophy. But the problem is we are staying in the waking state and we are trying to understand the transcendental state or transcendental experience. That's why we are unable to comprehend many times. That we have to understand. Just like when we are in dream, how much ever we hear, how much ever listen. For an example, if I come even in dream and I'm taking Aparokshanubhuti class for you people, you hear Swami tells nice things, fine, but once you come out from the dream state and when you are in waking state, then only you'll be able to understand that was not real. So similarly, all these truths has been experienced by the great people, philosophers, saints, prophets, incarnations. And based on the transcendental experience, they have told all these truths. And we are staying in this so-called waking state, and we are trying to understand the transcendental experience, which is in a different state, a sort of. That is the reason sometimes it doesn't link, or logically we don't feel there is a connection. So this one fact and the problem we have to understand, then we'll be able to probably go further in Advaitic thinking or in the non-dualistic thinking. In 67th of shloka, he says, the author says, Gruhyamane gate yat mrittikayati vaibalat vikshamane prapanchopi brahmaiva bhati bhasuram. Just as the earth forces itself upon our mind while thinking of a jar, so also does ever-shining Brahman flash on us while contemplating on the phenomenal world. We saw a beautiful jar that is. There are different types of jars. Someone is small, someone is big, someone is a particular shape, and someone has got a different beautiful curves. We're all, when we go that, we all bother about the color of it, the price of it, the different shapes of it, and the different curves, the different designs, and we choose one among them. So we were all bothered about the name and form, but we didn't see what it is made up of. Actually, it is made up of clay. Or there are so many materials made up of clay. We all saw it, and of course, there is a functional aspect for that, no doubt. We cannot say no, or we cannot deny. The jar for what we use, the plate cannot be replaced, or the plate or lid, whatever we use, it cannot be replaced by a jar or a glass, no doubt. But behind all this name and form, the substance, the common substance is clay. And the moment you remove the clay, all these objects ceases to exist. So Advaita is trying to tell that look to the clay, not the name and form. I mean, it is giving an example. So similarly, the whole world, it exists on this consciousness. The moment consciousness is removed, of course, it is not an object, for argument's sake, we are saying. The moment when the conscious is removed, then all the names and forms ceases to exist. Just like if you remove the clay from all these substances, what exists? Nothing. So the same idea has been told in the 67th verse. In the previous verses also, The author told very clearly. For example, golden earrings, golden nose ring, then golden necklace, golden bracelets, golden chain. Different forms, different names, different prices, different functional aspects. But the moment you remove the gold from all these things, nothing ceases to exist. Nothing exists, everything ceases to exist. So the existence-ness has been given for all these different jewelries is given by the gold, not as not as the golden earring, not as golden nose ring, not as golden necklace or bracelet or golden chain. There are only different names and forms which has been given for our day-to-day transactional reality. But the existence belongs to gold, not for all these things. And the existence is called is. That is what called Sat in Sat Chitananda, the nature of Atman or Brahma. The moment the existence-ness is been removed from this world, the whole world ceases to exist. Means the Brahman and Brahman alone is true. The world is an appearance. How to understand that world is an appearance? Just like golden, earthen jar, earthen plate, earthen glass, earthen tumbler, or whatever. The moment you remove the clay, and everything ceases to exist. The earth or the clay has been put in a particular shape, particular form, and based on the form, the name has been given. That's why beautifully in the Upanishad says, Vacharambano vikaro namadeyam mrittikaseva satyam. Mrittika means clay, satyam is truth. The clay is alone truth, but what are the different names we use for our transaction? They are all unreal. Why? Because the clay alone is real. Similarly, the Brahman alone is real and all other is an appearance. That's what the author is trying to tell this truth. So science is dealing with the content. Science is dealing with the, container, not the content, whereas Vedanta is trying to understand what is made up of that. Okay, there are so many types of materials are there. What it is all, the science is trying to explain, but we are saying that what is the underlying reality between all these substances? Try to understand, my dear. This is what the difference between empirical science and spiritual science. Now, how the wise man looks into the truth and the ignorant man looks into the truth. What is the contrast? What is the difference has been explained in the 68th sloka. Let us try to understand. Sadaivatma vishuddha asti hi ashuddho bhati vai sada yathaiva dvivida rajjuhu gnanino agnanino anisham. Means Atman, though ever pure, to a wise man always appears to be impure to an ignorant one. Just as a rope always appears in two different ways to a knowing person, an ignorant one. So this is cultural context. This you have to understand. Why they are always giving rope, snake, example. So in the olden days, the darkness was there, light, particularly the whatever the lights we have got today. Such type of light was not there in the olden days, and used to be big houses, and they used to use rope to bring the water and to draw the water from the well. So the rope was common in the Indian houses. So this we have to do. The cultural background here we have to understand. So a piece of rope has been put in the corner of an house where there was a bathroom. In the olden days, the bathrooms were kept in the back side of the house. Of course, it was hygienic and tradition also. A man goes in the evening time, just there is a sunset, just there is going dark. It was not complete dark and there is not complete light. In the twilight, a person is going to have a nature call, is going to bathroom, restroom. Then he saw suddenly snake and he started shouting, snakes, there is a snake, there is a snake, there is a snake. People immediately rushed with a torchlight, with a sticks and all. Then they asked, where is the snake? Then the person showed at the corner, look, there is a snake. Then the people, with the help of torchlight or a lamp, they saw, oh my dear, that was not a snake, that is a rope. Oh my goodness. But that moment, the rope appeared for him as a snake, so he had a sweating. His heartbeat was increased. His pulse beat was probably, it was also increased. And he had a fear, phobia, everything. But the moment the light was shown on the object and it was known as rope, not the snake, by the other person, then the ignorance is removed and the fear is also removed. The knowledgeable person, with the help of light, he was able to understand that that is a rope, it is not a snake. So the knowledgeable person, he understood that it is a rope as not a snake, but the ignorant person had a fear thinking that rope as a snake. So similarly, a wise person understands that consciousness and consciousness alone exists. Consciousness is appearing as this matter, whereas the ignorant man doesn't understand the consciousness. For him, the matter alone is true. Generally, there are 4 or 5 types of gradations in our thinking. The materialistic thinking people, for them, the matter alone is true. The world alone is true, nothing else. Then, for example, Charvakas, materialist in Indian philosophy. Whatever you can perceive by your 5 senses, that alone is true. So there is no soul, self, a transcendental reality. Enjoy your life. Have a merrymaking. That's what Charvaka philosophy, materialistic philosophy was. So these are the few, there are few people who think the matter and matter alone is true. And next, above little refined in their intellect, refined in their thinking, they say that matter is true, no doubt, but there are some higher things. There are higher values, higher concepts, or higher truths. For them, the matter is true, it is a reality, no doubt, but the higher thing is a vague reality. Maybe they're not very clear about it. It is a vague reality for them. This is a second level. Then if their intellect is refined still more, they say the world is real, no doubt, and the Atman or the consciousness also is real. It is not vague, it is real. Just like how much of the matter is real, so much even the consciousness is also real. Refined way of thinking, third level. Then the fourth level is, I think consciousness is real, no doubt, but the matter, it is a vague reality. It is opposite. Consciousness is true, no doubt, but matter is a vague reality, I think. It appears, no doubt, but it is not independent existence. Fourth. Then the fifth is consciousness, and consciousness alone exists and everything is an appearance. So the Advaita is trying to tell us, to make us to understand the fifth state of experience or fifth state of reality. So we have to understand ourselves. We have to do self-examine of ourselves, where we stay or in which state we are living. So here the author is saying, for the ignorant person, the matter is real, no doubt, but for the wise person, consciousness alone is real. That is the contrast, a big difference between heaven and hell, like that. So between the wise man and between the ignorant man. So the transactional differences, it is true. So Advaita is never speaking of transactional realities, transactions. Vyavaharika Satya, we say, yes, it is true, we have to accept. But we have to understand the reality also. Say, for an example, how to understand this statement. There is a water in the sea. Sea contains water. Sea consists water. It is a big water body. Fine. River, we have got a leafy river. There also water is there. Fine. And there is a drainage. There is a water. Now the water in the drainage, the water in the river, the water in the sea or ocean, all the three are same or different. Some say it is different, Swamiji. Why? Because the water in the drainage is contaminated. It contains all the dirt. We cannot use anything. And the water in the ocean is very salty. We cannot use for anything, probably. But whereas the water in the river, generally it is pure and we can drink and we can use for all the purposes, maybe for farming, for irrigation purpose, for factory purposes, and for domestic purpose, for drinking, bathing, everything. So it is different. Some argue and some say, no, Swamiji. In all the three, the same material, the substance, content is same. What is that? Water. Now, in the ocean, the water is mixed with salt. In the drainage, the water is mixed with the dirt, no doubt. But whereas in the river, the water is pure. So only some impurities or some other external materials are mixed in other water bodies, but the same thing is there, water alone, and water is true. And when we can filter it, or when we, through the process, when we can do the filtration of the drainage water, it can be potable water. Similarly, even in the seawater also, with the seawater also, by a special process, we can remove the saline content, then it can become fit for drinking or for irrigation purpose or for whatever. Now you see one simple example, our view or perceptions, opinions, it changes. Some say that they are different. Some say that the content is same, the water, but only it is mixed with some other external agencies or external objects or external materials or whatever you say. So if just even a simple external in mundane life, a small example, how much we differ, then what to speak of transcendental reality. So how much ever we hear, it is difficult for us to understand, we feel. So we should keep on hearing. What will happen? One day we will understand the reality. Swami Vivekananda, when he was giving a lecture on Vedanta, the whole, as we know, the whole America was mesmerized. They started following Swami Vivekananda. One person was known for his intellect. He said, Swami, you are hypnotizing the people from your Vedantic lecture or whatever. Swami Vivekananda said, my dear, you are wrong. Am I wrong? Are you not hypnotizing them? Swami Vivekananda said, no, my dear, I am dehypnotizing them. I am not hypnotizing them, I am dehypnotizing them. What do you mean by that? They have been hypnotized themselves for whatever reason, that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the senses, I am the so-and-so, I am the son of so-and-so, I am the daughter of so-and-so, I belong to such religion, I belong to such culture, I belong to such country, I belong to such group or ethnicity. And nothing of them are real. In reality, they are not real. They are all external paraphernalia. In reality, they are soul, the Atman or the consciousness. So they have been hypnotized. So I am trying to de-hypnotize them. So we have been hypnotized with the wrong things. So by hearing these Vedantic lectures again and again and again and again, we get de-hypnotized more and more. So that's what we have to understand. So right way, right thinking is very, very important. Because of wrong thinking, bondage exists. Bondage is not an external substance. It is only mental paraphernalia. Probably if you know, this is a wonderful fact, it is also a fact. The elephant. There's a baby elephant. So baby elephant will not be such strong, we all know that. Just like the mother elephant or the grown-up elephant, whatever the energy or the strength it has got, the same energy and the same strength will not have for the baby elephant. We all know, it is by common sense. Now, a particular chain is tied for the baby elephant one leg, so that it will not go, it should not go here and there. So the owner had tied the elephant with a small chain, for the which suits the baby elephant. He tried many times, n number of times he tried to get away from the chain, but he didn't. After 5-10 years, the same chain will be used for the owner. That's what I have heard. So the same chain will be used for even the grown-up elephant. Mostly, it never tries to get away from the bondage of the same small chain, which was used during its young age or infancy. Why? Because it tried many times when it was small, it was unable to break that chain. With the same phobia, with the same thinking, the elephant, even today, it thinks that I cannot break this chain and I cannot move out. So similarly, it can break at any time, it can walk away. That much strength the elephant will have, but it doesn't because of wrong thinking. So similarly, because of our wrong thinking, we are suffering. We are taking this cycle of birth and death again and again. So Advaita Vedanta says, try to understand this and try to come out from this wrong thinking. How to come out from this wrong thinking? Thinking rightly, thinking in a right way. Now, once we hear such type of things, you may get a question. Swamiji, is it a fact? Is it an experience? Or can it be experienced? Or these are only hypothetical arguments? We can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, for an example, he had experienced this truth. He said, I am seeing the whole world is tinged with, soaked with a consciousness. I'm able to see that consciousness and consciousness alone, even the people, whatever, they're looking like a shadow for me. Means it is just a cover, it is a cover, but it doesn't have its real, it doesn't have a reality. That's what his experience he explains. And he tells in one of his disciples, look, he comes from Kamarpukur, that is a village in a West Bengal in India. If this world was true, I would have covered my entire village with the golden sheet, with a golden sheet. Means for him, the world is an appearance. It was very clear for him intellectually, and it is a matter of experience. And when he was explaining this Advaitic truth, non-dualistic truth, Swami Vivekananda, during his young days, he was doing his graduation. He was pursuing his graduation, I think, mostly. Once he came, this as a Naren, young Naren, and he was sitting and listening his masters or his teachers' words. Sri Ramakrishna was saying, look, the whole world, in the whole world, entire universe, the consciousness and consciousness alone exist. The water jug, the table, the cot on which I am sitting, I, you, everything is Brahman and everything is consciousness, and consciousness alone exists. The Naren came out, and with one more friend, he started speaking. I think this person has got some mental problem. Why? How can the jug, the cot, table can be consciousness, Brahman? Brahman is consciousness, they say that. Existence, it is knowledge, it is awareness, they say. And these are material things, how it can be? I think he has got, probably screw loose in the Indian way, they say. Means he has lost his consciousness, he's lost his senses. Sri Ramakrishna came out. Then, with a love, he asked, Naren, what are you discussing? What are you speaking? And he was sincere and straightforward. He said, oh, Master, oh, sir, Venerable Sir, you were saying that everything is consciousness. So same thing, I'm speaking, how you have lost your senses, I think. You have lost your balance of the mind. Because you are saying that jug, table, cot, I, you, everything can be consciousness, awareness, how it is. It is contradictory. Sri Ramakrishna says, what? I have experienced it. Mother Kali has made me to experience. How can you say that? Swami Vivekananda said, bullshit, I don't believe all this. Of course, Sri Ramakrishna was spiritual luminary. He tested with this power, with this spiritual power, he tested Swami Vivekananda as a young Naren. And Naren's mind got completely changed. And Naren started feeling, yes, the whole world is merged with that consciousness. He narrates his experience. After this divine touch, when he was going back to his house, in the same road which he was used many times, couple of times, there, whatever the people he is seeing, is not able to see them properly. And is not able to feel that he has a body. And the railings, what were there, he wanted to check whether it is there or not. He was holding the railings and he was trying to hit against them. Because for him, everything was an appearance. He goes back to house somehow, and it was a dinner time. Mother calls him to dinner. He sits and he starts eating food. 2 or 3 spoons of rice he has taken. Afterwards, he stops. Why? Because he is not able to see any duality. He, the plate, the rice, mother, the ladle, everything it is appearing as a Brahman or consciousness. That mother got annoyed and she got fed. What happened, Naren? Why are you not eating? You were just like sitting simply and you were thinking, you have lost somewhere. Are you okay? Have you got any problem? Naren comes again, he comes to senses and he says, no, I'm okay. And he starts eating. And this experience It went for a few days. Then Naren starts understanding whatever the Upanishad said, or the Vedas said, and whatever my teacher, master, Sri Ramakrishna is saying, it is not mere hypothetical arguments, it is a matter of experience. From that day onwards, he started believing Advaita Vedanta, and he started pursuing Advaita Vedanta seriously. And afterwards, he became the world teacher of Advaita Vedanta. So from this, we can understand whatever these truths we are discussing, it is not mere hypothetical arguments. It is not mere thinking, rather it is reality that we have to understand. And in every philosophy, there is a nerve center. If you can understand that basic few ideas of any philosophy, then you will be able to understand the other feelings. For example, when, at least in India, I've seen, when they build buildings, initially they build pillars, strong beams or pillars. Afterwards, they only cover with the walls. There's the latest technology. So like that, even Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy, also has got some few pillars. One of the main pillar of Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy, is superimposition and desuperimposition. Adhyaropa, apavada. You impose something and afterwards you remove that imposition. That's what I mean. So initially they tell, yes, the world is real. How this world came into existence, and the Lord as Ishvara, he created this world. How? With the help of Maya. How? That with Trigunatmika Maya, three gunas, all these things they explain. Then we feel understand, okay. So who is God? Who am I? What is this world? What is this connection? Everything we understand. Then afterwards, slowly, they will start going back. They will be retracing their steps back. Slowly, they say that the world is an appearance. In reality, consciousness and consciousness alone exist. There are no three realities. There is only one reality, consciousness. Then the question may come, if that is so, then why did they explain all these things? In the beginning itself, they could have told, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman, Brahman and Brahman alone exist, nothing else exists. They could have told simply they could have closed. So much study, so much understanding would have been minimized for us. So much intellectual gymnasium would have been minimized. This question may come, but because to reach that transcendental truth, to reach that refined thinking, we may not be capable of, so that to make us capable, they teach all these things. Just like, for an example, in the higher studies like graduate, postgraduate, we read calculus. In the maths, we read trigonometry, we read analytical geometry, or in zoology, phylums and all. If we start same thing in a second or third standard, second, third class, we would not have experienced, we would not have understood. So that for that, so many things we have to learn, and so many basic things we have learned. And after, when we went to the graduation or post-graduation, the subtle concepts or subtle truths about maths or science or geometry or whatever, we could understand. So we have to progress in our thinking. So to make this progress, they superimpose the things, few things, and afterwards, slowly, they desuperimpose. So this is called Adhyaropa Apavada. This is one of the main important technique used by the philosophers of non-dualistic school. The moment you understand this, then it will be easy. That is what retreat. You go in a particular path to reach probably a Aldi or a Spar. You go and you purchase whatever the things you want, and you want to go back, come back to a house. The path which you went, similarly you have to come back in the same steps so that you will reach the center or your house. So the center is consciousness. From consciousness, we went to this world, and again we are coming back to this consciousness, that is center. That idea has been given in the 69th shloka. Yathaiva mrunmayaha kumbas tadvadehopi chinmayaha atmanam avibhagoyam mrudhaiva kiyate budaihi. The running meaning of this shloka is, just as a jar is all earth, so also is the body is all consciousness. The division, therefore, into the self and non-self is made by the ignorant to no purpose. Just like we saw so many things, so many different types of clay things, and we are obsessed with that. But a real person, the person who knows the truth, he'll be saying that, okay, the clay has been made in different forms and it has been different names. So we should start looking into the content, the clay, not the names and forms. The wise person looks into the substance, and whereas the ignorant person is always obsessed with these things. Probably this is a standard example I always give. When we were small, two dolls were brought of the same material, same cost, only the color changed. There was a change in color, and we quarreled each other, myself and my sister. I want particular doll, particular white colored doll. I want particular colored white colored doll. Parents might have told, look, both are of same size, same material made up of, and same cost. So it's only color change. One is white and the other is black. Why do you quarrel? One take white, one take black. What is there? You would have quarreled, you would have cried, no, I want white, I want white. And when we grow up, and the same thing has been done by the children, kids in the house, we see it and we laugh. Why? We did the same mistake. Now, is there any change in the black doll and white doll? No. Then what was the change? The change is in our mind. What was the change? The value, the actual value, the actual truth we have understood. Both are of same material, same cost, same type, everything. Only there is a change in color, it doesn't make difference in general. So because of intellectual awakening or the growth in intellect, we have understood the fact and we don't get mesmerized. We don't get moved by this. When we were kid, intellectually, we were not grown up. It was not matured enough. So we had cried, we would have fought, we would have got scoldings from parents or elders in the family or whatever. So similarly, when you progress intellectually more and more progress towards the truth, I mean to say the final truth, then you'll be able to understand what is in reality. So this superimposition and superimposition, how it happens? Okay, God is there, is the creator of this universe. Universe is there, how this universe came into existence, that has been explained, and you are there. Three realities has been told initially in the Advaita Vedanta. Fine. And the three things and three connections, all these things been explained. And afterwards they say, look, the Ishvara, the nature of Ishvara is Satchitananda. The nature of you is also Satchitananda. That means what? The Ishvara, the God, and you, individual self and the supreme self, essentially, potentially, both are of same nature. Just like the water in the jug, the water in the river. Both are of same nature, essentially. How? From the content. Of course, in the river, there's a huge water resource, but in the jug, it is limited. But water is same in the both. Then they say, look, the world also, whatever the material you are saying, it is an appearance, it is actually consciousness is appearing as that. So first three entities they said, then afterwards two things they merged, and the third thing is merged, and afterwards they say consciousness and consciousness alone exist. In the cosmos level, they try to tell. In the individual level, look, there is body, there is mind, there is consciousness. And they say consciousness is appearing as body, or there is the consciousness is true and body is not the true. The third level they say consciousness is appearing as in body. Third level they say, and fourth say consciousness and consciousness alone exist and everything is illusory or it is an appearance. So these are the different levels of understanding. Progression has been given in Advaita Vedanta to reach the final truth. So these are the different stages, different steps we have to travel. Travel means it is not physical, it is mental or it is intellectual. Probably I'll give one more example, you will understand. You went to the ocean, okay, Pacific Ocean or Atlantic Ocean. Oh, beautiful, gorgeous waves. Wonderful. Hey, come, there's a big wave. You may carried over, you may get washed away. Come out. Okay, you came out little out of fear. Then there were small waves. Oh, look, so nice. And you started enjoying it. Small waves, bigger waves, smaller waves, medium-sized waves, all these things you started enjoying with. And a person who was sitting in the bank, a person was sitting with calm mind, and just he was observing. And there is no reaction at all in his face. Just he was observing, just with peace. Then, after your enjoyment, you come and say, I think you missed a lot. The person who was sitting in the bank, he said, why? Because there is so beautiful nature. He said, yes, no doubt. But you see, there was so big waves, small waves, or medium-sized waves. You didn't probably enjoy like the way we enjoyed. The person who was sitting in the bank, he said, my dear, I enjoyed more than you. How? I was in the water. I was experiencing all this. You were in the bank. How did you? So you were always obsessed with the wave. Rather, I was seeing the content of the water. What? You remove the water from there. What else exists? What exists? Wave. You remove the water. Wave can exist? No, wave ceases to exist. So he says, from the content portion, it was the water. I was enjoying the water, and you people were obsessed with the waves, and you forgot to enjoy what is the truth behind it. So this is the way, this is the difference between a wise man and a common man, ignorant person. Ignorant person do enjoy in the world and in the worldly reality, in the worldly possession, obsessions, no doubt. But the person, wise person, he can enjoy more in the world. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, I know how to squeeze the orange better than you. What does it mean? Means I know to enjoy more in staying this world with full of realities. How? Because I know what is reality. I know what is truth. So I'm able to enjoy more. I'm able to experience happiness more. I'll be able to have the peace more because that is my reality. Once we understand the reality, experience the reality, then nothing can shake us. Nothing can move us. Abhinivesha, the fear of death, it taunts everyone. Even that you can conquer. Swami Vivekananda, we can see in the life of Swami Vivekananda, he never had any problem. He had said, look, I will not see my 40th year. Yes. And these are the incidents it happened. That means try to know that you understand that I will be no more. Means he knew that when he will pass away, and he welcomed the death. He never had a fear of death, and he never tried to postpone his death also. Why? Because he knew in reality, who is he? The death is for the body, not for the soul or the Atma. Such a great experience, great peace, great happiness is achieved by knowing the ultimate truth. That's why we should study Advaita Vedanta. And one more example is given in the next sloka also. Sarpatvena yatarajjuhu rajatvena shuktika vinirnata vimudena dehatvena tatatmata. Means just as a rope is imagined to be a snake, an acre to be a piece of silver, so the Atman is determined to be the body by the ignorant person. Just like because of ignorance, rope has been conceived as snake, acre has conceived as silver. So the consciousness, Atman, has been conceived as the matter or the body. So the pure consciousness alone is true, and that is appearing as all these materials. Now from 71st verse to 86th verse, the same idea has been repeated with the different types of examples. Like clay has been appeared as different parts, gold has appeared as different golden instruments. So that is the reason from the verses from 71 to 86, I will not be discussing. In the next class onwards, I will take the 87th verse, which will be the new topic in the Aparokshanubhuti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.